Hi guys, Lindsay here with Storybook Family Farm. So last night there was a massive amount of storms, and it was really kind of scary because everything was just like lit up like a Christmas tree outside, and the thunder was so loud, like our windows kept rattling. It just was not very conducive to sleep. So this morning I did walk around the property. I walked in the woods too to try to see if there was any downed trees, and I was honestly really surprised because you couldn't even tell that it had stormed. Like there wasn't a bunch of downed branches, trees, nothing. And it was like one of them storms that you're kind of laying in bed, praying to everything you can think of, begging for protection and begging that you're not going to die or end up in Oz. Like that's the type of storm it was. Plus there was tornado warnings going off, and it was intense. So the only thing that like shows even any signs of storms in our property, the power did flicker last night, but it was only for like off for like a minute, so it didn't interfere with our incubators. That was kind of a mouthful. But so everything with that should still be good. All the chicks should still be chicks, ducklings, and goslings. They should be hatching out here in the next couple days. So hopefully that brief few moments that didn't have power won't mess anything up too bad. I think it should be fine though. So the other thing was our spring. Like, as you guys know, this property is a very wet property. And the last time that we had a good bit of rain, the spring kind of went crazy. It opened up in a new spot, and since then it has had more water flowing through it than normal. Last night, over the course of just a couple hours, we got about 3 inches of rain. Like, it was absolutely insane. Like, torrential downpour. It was crazy. So obviously there's going to be a lot of puddles all over the place. However, not only is it just puddles from the rain, our spring has pretty much like overloaded itself, which I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see this on camera, but there is standing water. I'll show you. Over here by the fire pit and everywhere there is a few inches of water. There's pretty much just standing water all over the front yard here. I'm really glad that yesterday Tracy and I were actually able to get the yard mowed and get some push mowing done, because it was kind of our brief window that the grass was dry enough that I could kind of sort of mow it. And it was like mow it then before it storms again, because the next bunch of days it's supposed to rain even more. Which is putting everything in terms of planting stuff out in the garden, putting it all really far behind because it's just simply way too wet. Like there's puddles everywhere. And then with this amount of rain that we just got, the ground was already completely saturated. There was no room for any more water to be absorbed. And then you got all this extra water coming down, and it was crazy. Our ditch beside the driveway, it actually looks more like a moat than it does a ditch. It normally is like 3 foot wide with about a foot wide of water running down it constantly from the springs. And it right now is probably about 10 to 12 feet wide. So it's even like spilling over onto the road some. You can still get through. It's not anything dangerous, but it is like all the way up to our fence line, and our fence is about 10 feet or so from the road. So, I mean, it's pretty intense. Hopefully the weather forecast is wrong. Hopefully we don't get a whole bunch more rain over the next 2 weeks, because everything is just constant sloshing. Like even when I went up in the woods and I was walking on the path, and like our woods is a very steep hill, everything up there was soaked. Like you could see water running all over the place. Like I'm like, this is like kind of like some Noah's Ark type of stuff. Like people joked because of all the different animals we have that it's like we have our own ark, and I'm like, this is kind of not a laughing matter anymore with how wet it's been. But yeah, so I'm gonna see what I can get into today while it's not raining, because next bunch of days it's supposed to rain. So hopefully I can get a few more things planted that isn't in the wettest parts of the yard. Like we need to plant some artichokes and some fruit trees and some other different things. So hopefully I can find dry enough places that I can plug some stuff in, so that way they don't start getting ruined from not being in the ground. So if you guys are enjoying my content, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends on social media, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to help us grow. We'd greatly appreciate it. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.